Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. And you look at this load of junk on here, you'd be right in saying it is scrap. Well, that's the theme of this month's Diecast and Modelers community, is any scrapyard, car or diorama or barn find. So I've been scratching my head for ages over this. I had lots of good ideas, but one is space, one is time. And I can't do more than, really can't afford to do more than one, which is a shame. And so I'm going to do a barn find, and I'm going to do the scrap yards and stuff, but the scrap yard will just grow and grow and grow. So what I'm doing here, as you can see this lot here, I have made a bit of a start. I will explain to you in a minute. But as you have a look, I'll just spin it around a little bit. It's on the bench at the minute because it won't go on the magic. You probably recognise the caravan and a few of the bits of cars from here from a donation from my mate Bob, Robster Bob. Yeah, he's passed on to me all his scrap cars that he had in the scrapyard on his channel. So I've been scratching my head, like I said, and I decided to come and do a Pacific scrapyard, which is, you can probably say, in the late to mid 70s, and it will be a mini scrapyard for minis, because I've got a few of these minis kicking about, or parts of. So I thought, you know what, I'll do a small diorama with minis. Obviously, you know, I mean, it's a space thing. I could make it massive. I've got the cars to do it. I've got the know-how to do it. I could make it huge, but the trouble is I don't know where to put it. So this is in a small chalkboard frame. I've got a few of these I bought a while ago for doing diorama specifically. So I've done a bit of a start. I'll show you what's going to happen to it. Okay. So as you have a look at it, I'll just give it another spin. Well, there you go. I just like to welcome any new friends of the channel. Welcome aboard. Don't be scared away by this. It's a bit of fun. The DMC monthly challenge is one of the things you can just sort of do your own thing. So I'm going to do my own thing with this. So, and I welcome back all the old friends of the channel. Thanks very much. And same to you. I know it's not a die cast. I know it's not a restoration. It's just having a bit of fun. So bear with me while I enjoy myself for a little while. We'll try to. Okay. Now I know where I'm going with it, I'm all right. Just that not knowing. Okay, right. I'll get the phone on the stand and then we'll have a look at it. Yeah, here we are then. Let's have a look, see what we're going to do with this. I've been umming and ahhing for a while on this one. I'm going away again, probably the end of the week. So I'm trying to get this one done so it's in my memory, not my memory, but in my phone memory, so I can upload it when the time comes. Yeah, I couldn't make my mind up whether to do a small one with just this, and like in the corner of a scrapyard. I couldn't make my mind up whether I was going to do odds and sods. But I thought, well, I'll do this one because I think it's like a bit different. So we'll give it a go, see what it comes out like. Yeah, I know it's not a die-cast restoration, and I'm going to get a few for flipping complaints, but at the end of the day, it's the die-cast and modelers community, so that includes dioramas and modelling. So there you go. Right, this I've got here is something that a friend of mine, Adam Burrows, when he came to pay me a visit, he bought me some bits and pieces, and he bought me this. It's like it's cardboard, it's card, but it's like picket fencing. So I'm going to use this for part of it. And I've also got some bits of corrugated, which I got from one of my house kits. And I've got some sticks here, which I've procured from my favourite coffee establishment. I got a bundle of minis. Now I picked the worst ones that I didn't want to restore. We've got the caravan there, obviously. I put a couple of these straws underneath just to keep it off the ground. So I'll quickly go through. These are the cars that I've chosen. Some of these are from Rob's to Bob, so they won't need much doing to them. I have done a little bit of work on one of them. I'll show you in a minute. This is something I was cutting up for a project which didn't work out. So there you go. Right, the baseboard is one I've already previously had, and I had this green down on it. So what I've done is I've got some of that railway ballast, and I put some white glue down and glued this down. I'm going to weather it up a little bit. Now, some scrapyards, most of the ones that I've been to back in the day, were on some sort of hard standing of some sort, whether it be thick, heavy stone, or somewhere on old tarmac, somewhere in like an old, you know, an area. There was one or two that I'd visited what were in a field, and they were a bit boggy, but that was normally just where they were parked up before they were dismantled. But the two popular ones that I used to visit, they were all on a firm ground. Because they used to have the crane going up and down, and they big cars in and out. Otherwise, in the winter time, it would be like the bloody Battle of the Somme. It would be full of mud. So they did used to have some sort of either gravel, hardcore down, or something. Anyway, so this is what this is. Now the plan is to do specialise in the minis. Like I said, I'm not going to. This could be massive if I want it to be, but I don't. I just want like a bit of an area. So the plan will be putting the caravan, I think I had it that way, yeah, that way around, that way. This is one that Rob's the Bob did, so I'm not going to mess with it. The entrance will be here, as you can clearly tell, there. So that back piece will be fenced off there, across there, and here I'm going to do a bit of a gate there and a bit along there. I want to leave this bit open and this bit open, because if I do in the future want to expand it, I can cut these off here and here, and put another board next to it, make it bigger. That's the whole idea. So now we've got this fencing. We're going to put right down there, okay, and such like, but I want to put it mostly round by the gate area there. So what bits I haven't got, then I'll fill in with the corrugated, which I do a bit of. I've got some weathering powders. I'll be using them and a hairspray to fix it. So that's that and that and that. I've got a few of these cocktail stirrers because I want to build up underneath that caravan. My Lego's buried at the minute, so I can't get that out. So I'm going to glue those two together, make a bit of a thing around there. Or maybe even a bit of a platform as well, I don't know. Get round to that. That's the plan on that. Now the cars I'm going to use, I've got, where's it gone? Yeah. I've got this one, which is squashed down on the roof flat, no back doors on it. I might take the wheels off it yet, because or I'll put some tyres on, because a lot of these in scrapyards did have tyres on the wheels, and if you wanted a wheel, you take it off with a tyre on it. It's up to you then what you did with it. So, you know, I might find some, look at me boxes if I've got some tyres, put it on there. I've had the headlights took out of it. You know, I should be parking that somewhere like that. And then a couple more like this one. It's just showing I should take the roof rack off this and stand it down here somewhere. And what I've done with this one up to now, I've used a bit of Scotch-Brite here that I've got over here. I'll get it out. It's a big piece when it cut down, and because it was hand painted in blue, what I've done, I've gone and rubbed over it with this just to take some of the brush marks out of it and line it a little bit, really. Yeah, the glass is, but I need to nibble some more out of the glass to make that, if somebody's took the front screen out of it, take the roof rack off it. So find some tyres. I shall pull the lights out of here, okay, and I might remove 1 or 2 little bits like bumpers and that. So that'll probably be going there. Did I have it? I can't remember which way I had it round now. Or did I have it that way? You know, I forgot why I had it now, which way around I had it. Over there, over there, over there. You can put it wherever way around you want, but I can't remember now where I had it. That, yeah, I think it was those were there. Yeah, it was definitely there. And then I was going to have a couple more over here. This is an old police Mini. It was going to be parked over there with the doors and so on and so like. You know, leaning up against it. And I've got another old Mini here. This is going to park there or thereabouts. Because as you would come down here, there's the office, and you potentially, because there's going to be extensions on here, you would come along there and there'll be a few more down there in rows, because a lot of them are in rows. Sometimes you saw some on top of the other like that, but you know, with being minis, they've been quite small. You probably wouldn't get that. They would probably line them all up like that. And so that's the general idea where we're going with this. So like I say, it's just a bit of fun. It's nothing fancy. I haven't got a lot of stuff to put in it. I've got a box of bits which here, various bits and pieces I can put on. Difficulty filming it. If I was to film every part of this video will probably be about 3 or 4 hours long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I've done here, the idea, then I'm going to do a bit, then I'll show you what I've done, do a bit, show you what I've done, and that's the quickest way of getting through it without long boring. And if anybody wants to know afterwards how I did a particular thing, just give me a shout. Right. Yeah. Was it that way? You know, I can't remember how I did it now. I've forgotten which way around I had it originally. Yeah. I cannot remember. Anyway, we'll get to it. I think the first thing I'll do is I'm going to do some more groundwork on here. Because the cars won't take much. I'm not going to be stripping them down and de-riveting them or anything like that. I might just get some of the stickers off them, but I'm going to make them look like they're not overly rusty, because, you know, a lot of cars went in the scrapyard because they were rusty. A lot of them were because they were knackered. You know, suspension had gone underneath, or the engine was blown, or, you know, failed MOTs like they did. Floors are gone. But with minis, a lot of the rust and corrosion was around these pillars here, around this A-post around here, and down there, and sometimes across the roof. So we do a little bit of rust on it, but mostly they were just old, faded. We got an engine in there. We could leave the bonnet open on a couple of these. Probably cut that grill out off there. Take a door off here and there. You know, just have a little bit of fun with it. Really, these things you can go on forever with older cars and making them look rusty. Put loads of weathering powders on them, loads of weathering. You can go to town on them, really town. But I think if you're going to go to town with a weathering and a really old rusty look, you've got to be looking at a very old vintage scrapyard where they've been there for like 60, 70 years or more. You know, in the field. And some of these old, like the old 50s and 40s cars been laying there. You see them all rusted. And our rust is not like the rust you get in America, where it's really hot weather. Ours is more of a dark rust. You'll get rust where the paint's faded, where the bare metal is. You'll get a little bit of rust showing through there. But anyway, let's continue on. I'm going to do what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a bit of a wash on there, darken this down a little bit. I'm going to put a bit of a wash on there, darken some of this down a little bit as well. Okay, so that's my first steps. So when I get going on that, I need a cloth, And when I start, I'll do a bit, and I'll quickly show you what I'm doing while I'm doing it, if that makes sense. Okay, just a quick update for the end of the day, because I've about done for the day now. Right, what I've done here, I've put some wood around the bottom of there and stained it so the old caravan can stay there. I'm not going to glue this down yet until near the end, so that can be in that sort of. I'm going to put a couple of steps there. What I've done here, I've toned all this down by using different sorts of washes and powders that I've got. I've got these from Ultimate Weathering Wash from Ultimate Products. I've had these for a long time now. I used to use them on my tanks and stuff. They're a clay based wash. You've got rust, white and dark dirt, so I went over that with these because they'll dry out and then you'll get like a powdery effect on them. So I've used the dark dirt, the rust, and a little bit of concrete, and just a little bit of white now and again. And I've gone over here the same, where it was all green like that. I've gone over there with concrete, rust and dark earth, blending it all in, so it looks, you know, like it's been oil and grease and muck and dirt and stuff on it, you know. So that sort of idea at the minute. So that's covering that up. I sprayed this fencing with clear because it was card. It needed, otherwise it would soak everything up that I put on it. So I've done that in the clear lacquer, as with a corrugated sheet. And what I'm doing now, I've just put on here, I've used the weathering powders. These are from Humbrol weathering powders. There's like chrome oxide, and there's sand, and what dark earth, rust, and of course white. So what I've been doing with a cotton bud here, all right, I've been rubbing it in because the lacquer's quite rough. I only put one coat on just to seal it all really, and I've gone over with that. Okay, and then just a light coat of the chrome oxide. Then I sprayed it with cheap air spray. Yeah, and that made it. And then whilst it was still tacky, I went over some different powders. I went over the brown, need to rub that in. Yeah. So being a powder, it will stick to any rough surfaces. Okay, when you've finished it all, that you want to, how you want it to look, then you spray it again with airspray, and that will seal it all in. And here I'm using some of the vegetation I got from my rooms and things that I do, just put them on there, glue them on there with a bit of the old B7000. I've got a big tube of it, so it's the old B7000. So just put a drop on there, and then you've got like fencing that'll go on the outside where the vegetation is growing up. You've got like on the outside. Ooh, here we go. Look at that. We've gone. It'll go on the outside like that. Yeah. So that's where we are at the moment. It's going to be a slow process, but we're getting there. So that's the idea. Put a bit of fencing up. This will be the gate entrance, part of the gate entrance here, like so, over there. And then the rest of the fence will come round, like so, round there. And I might put a few corrugated sheets, this bit here, as if it's had some damage, where somebody's reversed into it with a car or something like that, you know. And then we'll see about doing the gates, because I want to save some of this for the gates. So that's where we are. Yeah, it's good fun. It can be time consuming. So, you know, and you can spend as long as you want over it, or as little as you want. It depends how you want it to look. Trying to make it look realistic, but, you know, not trying to not make it look flat. You know what I mean? So we've got a few things like the gravel gives it a bit of height. That gives it a little bit of dimension. The fencing will give it dimension. The foliage will give it dimension. So, yeah. Yeah, we're working at. Okay, I'm going to carry on doing this fencing. Get this fencing all weathered up and ready to put on. I'm not going to put it on until I've weathered it all up, and then I can glue it on there then. Get it round, shape it and get it where I want it. So there'll be some vegetation like this all around the bottom. So, okay, tea time. Okay, just a quick update on the scrapyard diorama. Got the fencing all in now, and some undergrowth like I showed you earlier on. Lots of shrubbery and bits and bobs growing on the fence, and the fence is rusted in places, as you can see. That's all in. Around the front here, some more foliage growing up on the outside. That's what you probably get anyway. So that's the entrance, and they've got the gates there, there. The caravan's in place now where it's going to be. Got to do some steps and such like there. Yeah, squeeze that out of the way a minute. Yeah, so there we go. That's the outside done. Like I said, I'm leaving this open and that open because you want to expand it at any time. So yeah, bit of a messy job with powders, glues and all these twiggy bits, but we got there in the end. So yeah, that's looking rather smart at the minute. Right, I'm going to carry on. Next up will be sorting some of the cars out, I think. Oh, I'll do some steps. I think I'll do some steps for the caravan. And what I did do, I forgot to bring the flipping tyres with me. So I haven't got any tyres, so that'll have to be put on at a later date. Yeah, so moving on. So next stage will be build some steps up there. Maybe a little table or something, a bench. And then start working on the cars. I'm still not 100% sure. I might put a little corrugated shelter here yet. I've not thought about that yet, but see how time's going on. Okay, catch you in a bit. Okay, right, I was going to give you a bit of an update. Excuse the bench, it's a right tip, but I've been doing all sorts. Let's just shift this one out of the way first. I'm not on the stand, so shift that out of the way. Now, as you saw before, I've done all the outside perimeter. Gates are done. And what I've done, I've added this building here. Out of corrugated. Let's shift that out of the way. Out of corrugated paper that I had. As you can see, I'll go around a bit. I should have had this on the stand. Excuse the amateur. Yeah, there. Okay, so I weathered it up a little bit and stuff like that. I've got same the other side. And this bit on the roof there is just basically where there's a there will be a tree here, and it's dropped its stuff on it. Right, a couple of wheels there. Let me just see them out. Yeah, a couple of wheels there. These are plank stays. Now what I've been doing is a bit of weathering. I'm not the weathering artist of the world, but I'll give it a go. Now I didn't really want all completely rusty cars, but this was a police car and a lot of it was bare metal. So in order to do that, I've weathered it up using weathering powders and pastels. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. That's going to sit on there like it's being stripped. I cut all the front out of it, I've cut the engine out of it. The engine's here, there, dirty, so that's going to sit down there somewhere. Excuse my name, Bob. Yeah, the engine's going to sit down there, being taken out. And this vehicle here, this Mini here, I've done the same with that. This was all got some paint off it, so I've used weathering powders. It's too badly chipped to take too much paint off, or else it'll be completely empty. Now that's going in there, but it's also going to have, I've got my fingers in the way, I made a little trolley jack up. There you go, look. Made that little trolley jack out of a couple of bits of old matchstick, which I was using for the frame for this. So I made that there, and that's going to basically be like that, but it needs straightening. But that'll be like that. Done some steps over there, and I took a couple of the seats out of this. This police mini was in bits anyway, so I utilised the seats for the guys to have a tea break there. I've got all the bonnet and that and stuff there to sort out in a minute. So we're getting there. Now, how I did this, if anybody's interested, like I say, I'm not the professional weatherer. I've got some cheap hairspray. I hadn't got any matte varnish with me. I did rough the metal up first, but it still wouldn't stick to it. So give it a bit of hairspray. Don't do it all because it dries out really quick. So a little bit of hairspray. Then got a brush and dip this in this, and then put it on like that, like a powder, like you talking, you know. Okay, put it on. Mix whatever colours you want. Put it on, and that will dry, and then you got this type of effect. And what I did then after that was got my finger. It was all thoroughly dry. Got my finger and just rubbed it over the metal, so you've got like a sheen to it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's what we're doing with here. I haven't taken all the lights and backlights and all that out of mucking about with that, so it's just the overall effect. This is going to be, obviously, if it works out okay, I could expand it, and then I can spend time dressing it up bit by bit. So that's going to go there. So yeah, basically, I bought, these are pastels. There, cheap pastels. We got a few quid. Soft pastels, artist pastels. And just get your knife, scrape it off there. You got a nice little powder there. It is better with a matte finish where it's rough. Plastics is very good and stuff. I've used it on here as well. And on cardboard and paper, it does actually rub in, so, and it will stay. The other things I've been using are, these are the Humbrol weathering powders. Very similar, but they're a heavier powder. They're chunkier powder. Yeah, and you can make these up into washes if you want. Put these in a bit of water with fair liquid, or what the Americans say, dish soap. Wash up liquid, and you can just make them into a wash, and you can use them wet if you want. And when it dries out like a shade. So that's where we are at the minute. That's the update on this one. Still got the other vehicles over there to use. I took the roof rack off that. That's now propped up against the side of the caravan. So yeah, so this is basically what's going to happen. You're going to have something like that there, and there. So that's the general idea. Get the gist of it. But I thought that looked okay. Like I say, I forgot to bring tyres. I forgot to bring any figures if I get some to fit on here. So that's a thing I can add at a later date. Now I've worked on that mini. That one's mini worked on. Now I've got to work on these here. Luckily these have got a lot of paint on them, so I'm not going to have to do too much to them. That one and that one I've been working on. Took all the wheels off these because there's no tyres, so I thought I might take the wheels off. This one will have the bonnet open. This one will be jacked up at the front like that. Okay, so that's the general idea. Catch you on the next update. Okay, right, I'm going to give a quick demo on this, rusting up this van here, this ex-police van. Now, most of the paint has gone off it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to treat it as a burned out vehicle. So as you know, once these vehicles are burned out on the side of the road or wherever, you'll see they would rust really quickly. So this is what I'm going to do with this. Excuse the state of the bench, it's a right mess. don't normally work in such a mess, but I need to get moving it out like there. Get it done. Okay, I haven't got any matte varnish here, so what I'm going to do is I've got a bit of Vallejo white here. That'll do. I'll put some of that on, and then I can put the rust powder on that one. And I've got some pastels here. Well, in fact, what we'll do, we'll take some of the orange. What we'll do here is just scrape some off. And if the lighting is a bit odd, because like I say, I'm not at home now. I'm at the caravan in my little room, and the sun is coming in through the window. If I shut the blind, then it'll be too dark. Right, so that's some of that powder, and I want a bit of black in there, because if you look at a burned out vehicle, you'll see it's got different colours. So we'll put a bit of black in, just scrape it like that. That's all you need to do. There's a bit of black. What else should we use? I think, no, I've got this powder, so that should be enough for now. So what I'm going to do is now let's just put a bit of white. Oh, yes, that's too bright, isn't it? The sun's just me a second. Let me try and get this down a bit. Just a minute. I don't know, that's not too bad. Yeah, I'll get some white down. Give it a bit of a shake. Oops, not the camera. Try and keep it in shot. Got a brush. So what I'm going to do is just to put, if you do it all, paint it all white, then you'll end up with it drying on you too quickly. So just put a bit of that on there like that, because we're going to do it all rusty. Okay, and then get a brush, dip it in that powder, and just stipple it all over. Best do this on a bit of card like this, or a bit of paper. Like that. As you can see, it's changing colour already. There you go, a bit of rust effect on there. I'm going to do it also, just put a bit more paint on, because I want to add some different powders on there. So let's try some of this on, some of the lighter powder on. There you go. You rub it with your finger if you want to. Or a cotton bud, might be less messy. You're starting to get different shades of rust coming through. And then we can put a tad more on. Here and there. Especially in that dent there. And we can add some black. You can have fun with this. You can do, it's all experimental, it's all your own personal choice. See how you get on, see what you fancy doing. Good practice. There's no hard and fast rules. If you're not sure what it looks like, rust and stuff, Google it all. You'll see. You can Google go over again with the main rust. You see, that flattens it out a little bit, but you've still got your shades. You see what I mean? Still got different shades. You can highlight it again with a bit of this there if you want. Scrub it in. And when you're done, get your cheap hairspray and just, I'll show you do it. Do it that. Alright. Smells nice. And that'll dry out. Okay. Or if you forgot a bit, you can always put a bit more on. With the hairspray, I'll help tacky it down. As well, you can build up layers with hairspray if you want. See how simple that is, isn't it? Just depends how you want to do it. There you go. You can, like I say, you can build up large amounts if you want to build up a lot around there to do it. Let's have a look. Let's quick demo on that one while we're here. If you want to do big chunky rust like around this post here, put a good bit on. Get your rust, drop it on. Can make that quite chunky. If you want to use a spatula on this, you can. It's a bit messy. And it's quite lumpy there. You've done that in, you put plenty on to make it lumpy. And you can concentrate it. See what I'm doing? Concentrating it in that area. Just there. Get rid of that off there. Where the rust is building up on there. There you go. There. So you've got a nice heavily rusted piece there. Okay, where it's all rotten away there. You can add dobs of black in it if you want. Or dobs of black where it's gone through in the areas. Yeah, but for our sense purposes, we're doing the top here and there. Okay, so I'm going to carry on doing the rest of this, and this can go in place, and that just leaves this one then. Okay, all right then, completed. As you can see, we've got various different shades of rust around there, and what I've done here where the fire started. Hold on a minute. See if I'm making it. Right. You can see where the fire started. So your black all around there, grill, all the smokes come out of there, all your stuff. So there you go. Very nice. That's ready. It's been hairsprayed, so that's ready to go back on the diorama. This one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. I might just leave that as it is. Just do some of that roof where the roof rack come from. But yeah, I'll paint some wood around there, because this is the only one that ain't shown loads of bare metal. Because all of us showed loads of bare metal, so I had to do something with it. Right, that'll be a surprise when it's finished. Okay, so I'll get this on the diorama and we'll see where we're going. We're nearly finished now. Okay, catch you later. Now what I decided to do with this one is use some gold tin foil, like you used to get in the old fag packets. Screw it all up, so a couple of spare wheels on top, and that's I'm gonna paint that now. I've got a bit of black blue. I'm gonna paint that a thin coat on there and just mottle it a little bit with green to make it a little bit mouldy. There's a burnt one in place now. That's in place. So this is the last one. That's it. That's the last mini all done. Here it is. There. That's the tarpaulin, a manky, filthy thing. Been on there for a number of years. Got the old wheels on the top. Yeah, it's got a bit of debris from the bushes and so on and so forth. The roof rack's laying there by the side there, so we took it off. Yeah, so we've done that. That's that gold foil using paints and some powders to make it look old and worn and torn, weather beaten. Might have been a little bit over the top, but there you go. Okay, so we're actually finally finished. So we'll have a little cruise around. Excuse me. I apologise for the light in the other shot. It was a really bright sunny day, and in this spare room of mine, the light comes through something terrible, and it's awkward to try to get a decent contrasting picture, even with the blind drawn down. Anyway, let's have a little cruise around. So, as we've seen before, that's the blue mini with the tarpaulin on it. And then we've got the burnt out mini there, which you see we do with the powders and so on. We've got the whole seat there, been taken out by somebody and left on the side. And as we cruise around, we've got the white mini with the rust on its side. I'm holding the camera as we go around, so that's done discreetly. There's a lot of rust on these vehicles because the simple fact a lot of the paint is missing, so I have to do something somehow. So that's that bit. Put a couple of old signs on there. This is the foliage on the outside there. So as we go back around, there's some debris on the roof of that one. because as I extend the yard, there will probably be a tree somewhere here, a small tree. So we'll cruise down past the dismantling shed. We've got the two minis here being systematically stripped. There's the homemade jack, trolley jack. It's to have the front subframe removed. And this one is virtually stripped now. We've got the engine on the floor down there. So that's ready to be cut up for the scrap, to be carted away. Okay, then over here we've got spares taken off it, bonnet, door. There'll be two doors. A couple of old seats where the guys can sit and have a cup of tea. There's the office. Okay, so then we've got the main gates coming in with the gravel or the hardcore there. Yeah, this was a fun project. I enjoy doing this. I didn't want to make it too big to start with. It's something you can expand on as you go down. And it was nice to mess about with the powders and the other bits and bobs. Yeah. Well, I hope you like this anyway. It's something different. I know it's not a restoration. It's completely the opposite way around. But I had some damaged cars, and I'd just like to thank Bob there, for supplying me with some of the vehicles, i.e. the caravan, the blue mini and the crushed roof one. So thank you very much for that, Bob. I've made good use of those. Yeah. So that's the challenge for DMC for this month, which was any scrap vehicle or scrapyard diorama, which is what I've done here. Yeah, look forward to your comments on this one. If anyone wants to know any more information on how I did the weathering or the rusted effects and other bits and pieces, please let me know in the comments, and we can perhaps sort maybe a separate video out dedicated to doing stuff like this. Okay, that's gonna go on the shelf for now. Well, like I said, look forward to your comments, and hopefully you'll like it. I know a few people won't like it, but at the end of the day, there you go. Yeah. So, alrighty then. So it's goodbye from me. Goodbye from Stanley. Oh, that's a couple of things I need to add to it before I go. We need a dog. I'm not going to use Stanley because he's a house dog. So I need a guard dog. I'll get one of those. And there's maybe some people. But because I'm away at the moment, I finished his off when I was at the caravan. So I didn't bring everything. I thought I had, but I didn't. So maybe a couple of gas bottles and stuff like this. But I don't want to overdo it. Anyway, look forward to your comments. So whatever you're doing, be happy. Hopefully you'll be lucky. And we'll see you all again next week with the donations and purchases. So, as we just have a bit of a scout around, check them out. There you go. Okay, see you all later. Bye for now.